we're exporting wealth? Are we building sustainable development? Is this a good deal? You know, which is, of course, is a JV. Of course, ZCCMIH, Cobalt Mining, sorry, and other investors are involved, and so we have a stake in it. Another investor, but it's a JV. Are we getting a fair share, or are we just the usual thing that we see all the time, where mines are being controlled by foreigners? What's your take?
Oh, yeah, it's a mixed bag on my end. As far as having the resuscitation or the resuscitation of the Mingoba mine, or even having investors starting, I mean, in terms of what is the government doing in creating what seems like employment for the citizens, that is definitely going into the checked boxes as a good thing. However, as far as getting plans, is that what kind of agreement has the government entered into, since it's a JV, in what is left behind in developing communities as well as helping our economy, obviously, is what I don't know the details of. And many times, like you said, yeah, all these mines, remember those times where Chabishi mine and all these Ramcos, they came in, and Chinese, they just took everything and left. And unfortunately, we are here. The mines are still there. Uh, if well managed and if well agreed upon as far as deals or ventures, investment that the government gets into, I think it is a good thing. This is one thing that makes me scared about HH leadership. When he goes away, is anybody else able to take over this kind of guidance going forward? It just seems like there's so many things going on, and everything came out at the right at the pretty much as we go into a second term. If he goes away, are
Mm,
we able to continue sustaining or even
mm,
monitoring these things, or even ensuring that these deals are
mm,
actually benefiting the local Zambian? That I
mm,
don't know. So
mm,
yeah, I don't know. It's a mixed bag to me about these investors. We need
mm,
them, but we need to really streamline. What do we get out of it? What
mm,
is the management or the representation of our people on this? Yes, they give it
mm,
local employment, but what else is it doing? Are they improving healthcare in these cities? Are they improving roads in these cities? Are they improving economics in these cities? And then spreading it all out going forward to other places. That is where the management of these things come into. I don't have much of how I can comment on them. I just normally watch and be
mm.
scared of. I hope things are going to be going the right way or not.
What said Dr. Chikonka? And with me, my take on the whole in a project, I think it's a good project, especially for the people of the Copper Belt.
Yeah.
And people are going to be employed for one. I think we need a lot of people being employed, and knowing the Copper Belt, that's all they live on.
Hmm.
Mining is their flesh and blood. It's what they breathe. Is what they know, and nothing else. So the more mining companies are mushrooming and opening up, and not just these briefcase mining companies, but real investors like Cobalt, which is renowned worldwide. It's a plus for us as Zambians. But
Uh-huh.
just like everybody has said here, we need also to take in consideration the people in the area where they're mining. uh, what are they going to give the community? Okay, what social responsibilities do they have? So like everybody said, we need to go back to when the mining sector was coming in, building hospitals and all these and clubs and stuff like that, football stadiums, supporting local sports. This new crop of new mines, they need to follow that same blueprint, because you need to hold the community together. If they're coming in that community and mining and doing all these things, they also need to understand that, look, the miners also need some downtime where they can go and relax on the weekend. They go watch a soccer match, and they should feel related, or they should feel sort of a belonging to a certain organization, and that organization is sponsoring maybe a certain team. They make their own team, they sponsor the football and everything and all that stuff, and people will be there to be watching. So it will give that morale. And we know that every Zambian soccer is like we soccer crazy fans. That's the thing that we know. We start playing soccer. As immediately you start walking, you be playing soccer. So if they can work into that, and then let's bring a brighter standard, instead of these mining companies just to come in, take out the minerals, but the roads where the minerals are being transported on, let's say from the mining area to the main road, it's all gravel. Like at least as a mining company, you should create a new road for yourself to say, look, we need to be all the roads surrounding areas, they need to be paved, okay, so that it's easier for the goods to come in and out. Because I've seen some mining companies operations where the plant or the mining factory is here, but where the goods are coming from, the roads are bad, and they still continue mining, and they still continue transporting their copper on the bad roads from where they're producing until where to the main road. Like, look, why don't you just say, okay, fine, you cannot just put everything in the hands of the government. You can also put that in yourself to say, we're going to build a proper road so that when our trucks come in, they're able to come in, dock in, offload, and transport. Everything is on time. The government is doing other things. But even this combination of a JV, I think it's a brilliant move by the president, because you're able, even the president, when I was watching his speech, he said, look, if there are any teething problems here, tell us so that we know how to solve them. Don't just sit. This is here, my age. Tell us if there's anything that you feel, there's something that's not working well, or there's anything that you're not happy about. Tell us so that we know. But sometimes, the president, he cannot be in everywhere, in every place at the same time. But that much being said, I don't want to digress much more on that. But it's a plus, and we need to move on. So the next topic, of course, is something that's been in the headlines for weeks, and I think we need to give it. I think this is going to be more political. I don't know, but here's what I'm going to say. We have a U.S. ambassador. He made some, some remarks, okay, on his farewell party at the embassy. And of course, we know that, he says some issues. Now, we all know, like, look, corruption is not something that can be eradicated in a day. And there's nobody who's going to teach us about corruption. Corruption is everywhere, including in the United States of America. There is corruption. But he went on, I think it was a rant, talking about how corrupt this government is, how this and that and that and all that stuff. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, look, I can imagine myself if Chibamba Kanyama would stand up on the podium and start talking about the corruption in the United States. So that's what I was thinking about. I was like, atampo kulanda pa Pachalo chesu icha Zambia. Because yes, we agree, but we also understand that look, if Fintu is being eradicated slowly, and corruption is not the way it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago. It's been reduced. We cannot say it can be eradicated. Takwara. It's only that it's been reduced. So it was what you was saying, constructive criticism, or maybe he was interfering in the sovereignty of Zambia. I want everybody to think about it in that way. Was it constructive criticism, or he's interfering, or what does a diplomat have that power to start talking about the sovereign state in terms of internal politics and internal issues? Well, we'll work on by Hamwami is here. Maybe we start with you since you just joined us.
Yes, I'm happy to be here joining you again from Stratford upon Avon. I was in Shakespeare Town. I was with the monuments. I enjoyed my town. There was enough sunshine.
Okay.
Gonzela, what is his name? Gonzela? I don't know what
Gonzalez. Gonzalez.
Gonzalez. Oh, it's Gonzela.
It's a Spanish name.
I
Gonzalez.
got bad manners at
The
Gonzela.
Spanish name.
Sorry, Gonzalez, yes. Yeah, Ambassador Gonzalez. Just like everyone has nakedness, you hide your nakedness. Everyone has a nakedness, just like an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. So, if there's a speech that was written for him and he read it, it must be in the archives. Maybe he was just speaking from his mind, that where he thinks that he can also say something. When they are in Zambia, they are residents, not citizens. So they can, maybe to some extent, they can comment, but not to the gravity with which he went, because Zambia, being a sovereign state, has got people. It can it's answerable to the citizens. As foreigners, they sit and watch. They have little to say about what happens. Just like that eagle, what the eagle represents on our flag. That's a sovereignness. They didn't choose a different eagle apart from the bird. They didn't choose a different bird apart from the eagle. There was a reason. Sovereignness and above. That's how we are. So Mr. Gonzalez basically is for him to come out like that. Are we together?
Yeah, you seem to be breaking a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know. Am I
Go
stable
ahead.
now? Am I stable? For him to come out like that, for him to come out like that, first of all, it was very undiplomatic of him. He should have gotten maybe permission from the Foreign Affairs Minister to speak like that, or from his government. If he's speaking because his government told him to speak so, well and good, then someone should be answerable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A little bird told me that the man is frustrated somehow.
Mm-hmm. You seem to be breaking there, Bamwani. Bamata.
I don't know. How can I do it now? How can I do it?
Go ahead. Just speak directly into the mic. And
Yes. Yeah. So the man wanted, in his term of office, I think one of his objectives was to get what he wanted. whatever I wanted, like maybe rare earth minerals, so that we can have the imweteka nyeni nande nishkani mwepo kunchinga ala mwepo kunchinga mwepo kunchinga lekeni nande have my space bale mwana kwatinga tatukweta makondo Zambia tukalwala AIDS filia there's China as well, you know, we can get these things from China. So, because when these diplomats come in Zambia, they all have a mission. They have a individual work plan. They have a work plan. They have got targets. They are setting benchmarks they must meet. There are certain things which they must get for their. There are certain businesses that must go through, certain deals. When those things fail, then they think to say they have failed. Maybe this guy is not a good diplomat. He's not a good orator. He's not a good. He can't convince. So I think he must be replaced by someone who can maybe go and convince. Because ultimately, these diplomats are businessmen to sell the country, just like we have our chief marketer. They are there to look for opportunities that are lying idle, low-hanging fruits. To them, our minerals are low-hanging fruits which they can get. But we also need them, you know. So when they fail in their mission, in their tour of duty, they can be recalled. Say, there, we sent you for this, but look now, you're not getting it. So maybe if we bring in another person, maybe he can get it. So Gonzalez was a frustrated man. On corruption, he can't say we've not done anything. We've done enough, because corruption in Zambia had become a culture. You know, a culture is a way of life.
Get any audio, guys. I'm not sure.
Hello.
Okay. All right.
Corruption had become a culture. You know, a culture is a way of life. People had started to live with that business.
All right.
And,
okay.
For him,
keep it brief. Let's give a chance to other people. Keep it brief.
So ubomba mwibala lya mwibala bring them. If you have found them to be corrupt, bring them so that they are persecuted. Those statements, you know, it had become a norm to survive in Zambia through corruption. You supply oxygen, you supply nothing, you are given the money. It's a culture. For it to break, it takes time. And as it takes time, some of the cases get solved, others solved faster, others slowly. Evidence also is very difficult to get. Sometimes evidence varies. How do you proceed with such a case? So you have to build a case.
Okay. All right. I think at this point I'm going to bring Lawrence. He just joined us. Thank you for joining us, Lawrence, today. How are you, Mr. Lawrence?
I'm fine, thank you. I just joined. I'm just a listener here.
I cannot get any audio at all. Is it everybody having the same problem or not?
No, me, I'm getting the audio quite all right.
Yeah,
I'm
is anybody getting me?
Too. Yeah, I'm getting you.
I can hear you, but I can't hear nobody.
Can you hear me at all?
Hello. Namkatama headset.
Okay. It depends.
Okay.
Maybe you restart. They should restart their
phones.
So
you're saying you cannot hear me?
Rachanda, I can hear you, but I cannot hear the panel.
Oh, you cannot hear everybody else?
No, but I can hear you right now, but nobody else.
Oh, okay. Even when some because the previous person was
maybe he may try to bump himself out and then come back.
I could see the video, but I couldn't hear anything. I don't know audio. Let me see if I can log out and log back in.
I see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yeah, so you can hear everybody.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear you, Wakalinda. Loud and clear.
Yes, Wakalinda.
Now me, I'm out. I don't know where I've gone. Okay. Pa video nshiripo mwamfumi hapo. You've thrown me in exile.
No, we can still see you. So,
Yeah, Bachanda,
okay.
thank you for for the introduction.
Yeah.
I'm just here to listen. Yes, it's funny what has been going on with our ambassador, but he might have his own views about what has been happening.
Okay. So what are
I would want to for me, I want to speak on behalf of the ambassador. I want to protect the ambassador.
No, just
so when the time comes, then I'll be speaking on that.
Hold on. We're going to go to that. For everybody that's not speaking, if you can just mute yourself and then unmute when you're supposed to speak, so that we have a current, for instance, so okay. But Malisu, Lawrence, here's the thing. The ambassador brought out certain issues of corruption, especially in the health sector. Now, the big question is this. Okay, what did he really exactly mean, and should a foreign diplomat publicly comment on internal issues? Okay, and actually raised up a question to say, imagine this: if Vachivamba Kanyama stands up on a podium, start talking about corruption in where? In the United States. Because there's corruption there as well.
Can't never.
So these are issues that we all need to understand. Like, okay, is this just politics? Was he just politicking? Or maybe he just, I don't know, for lack of a better term, but what triggers everything is, you look, was it a constructive criticism or was it malicious? Because this is not the first time we've been talking about this, but we all agree. I think we all agree here that, of course, there's been corruption in the health sector, medicines, and all that. That we know 100%. Now, can somebody just, as a diplomat, okay, Valores, and then we'll go to Bakazia because you want to defend him. Go ahead, Valores.
We? No. I'm okay. I'm just listening, Bachanda. Give over the mic to Bachanda.
Bakazia. Can you defend him and tell us why what he said was correct or what he was saying was diplomatic?
Okay, I will tell you where it started from. We have given the ambassador the leverage ourselves as Zambians to speak in the way he is spoken. If we're in Zambia, there's nobody else who has ever given him the leverage to speak the way it is. And we have given leverage to the ambassadors. In 2019, when the ambassador of the USA attacked the PF government, what was the position that the UPND took? They rushed to go and defend the ambassador who was attacking our government and the person who defended that person is our current president, not anyone else. Even the vice president of our country spoke about that, defending that ambassador. When the people that were in government, especially foreign affairs, started to say, no, there is diplomatic etiquette that we must follow. What are procedures that must be followed? The entire UPND government and what parliamentarians, they went full throttle to defend them. So we set a precedence at that point in time. And now, what we said at that point in time is now biting us right now. It is biting us. Now, this time, the people in government, oh my goodness, we created the monster. After we created the monster, and at that point in time, there was a question of my diplomatic thing started to answer to the things that he has spoken about. And this over dependence on foreign direct investment, not foreign direct, foreign donor support systems is what is creating a problem for ourselves.
Yes.
We get their money to send they fund our
programs.
Yeah?
Health programs.
Yes.
Health center kits.
They fund our health programs. Twabasumini sokutupera empya twayapoka n'okupoka naifwe bupuba twapoka endalama shirya twasana mukushibonfya ero nomba twalya endalama shirya ero lya twalya endalama we eat that money very well ero now they start asking about around
accountability.
We flip around, but we are the ones that gave them delivery. Around now, you shouldn't be talking about it. You have no right from there. We have get our health is we can't talk to pay Lama. What leverage is going to over us? And as long as every child hanga chakwa to humble this is what we are paying for. Ourselves, Zambians, we put together and say this now and we are going to find our solutions on but what now we find someone who comes up and tells us in the face. He tells us about corruption. He's the one telling us that corruption is under investigation. How do you expect to fix that? We don't investigate, we don't prosecute. Minerals. Critical minerals. Where is the government statement to say this guy, what he's talking about is lying? We have never, this is why they want us to start agreeing to these things. So far, we are the ones that are saying, oh, they want critical minerals. But where is the government statement? So that once we back the government on that statement which government has given us through maybe the government spokesperson, not through Amakadas, through the official channel, so that if we were done, we say, this is the position of our government. We don't have that. They are quiet, but in we, why are they in we?
They are not in we. They are not
where is the official statement?
Certain issues.
Let me finish.
You were in government.
Yes, let me finish. That's why I'm telling you to say confusion which is going everywhere. Government releases the official statement immediately. You don't wait until speculation starts to fill in. You don't do that. That's what I'm telling you. That's a government procedure that I've known for 28 years. Immediately.
He's very right. Because he is right in everything he said here. I can tell you some of the previous stuff I've heard about all these things that are going on here is, I mean, we set a precedent for sure. These guys should have been put in a place where they can only speak so far.
But that is the point.
Yeah,
that's the point, my brother. They will enter into next time they will be able to sit down and say, oh, President Wenu, ali 6 foot tall, ali fine. And what are we going to do? Because Trevor so much leeway. And also, instead of saying we made mistakes in the past, Let's correct them. What do we do? And that's why I'm telling you to say government must be quick with official position to say this is a government position, not a cooked up position. Twice, but okay, now my answers, my questions to Kwete on each and everything he raised. My questions are raising it on medicines. This is what is going on. On the mineral, this is what is going on. On anti-corruption, this is what is going on. They answer him back and give us the official statement. As long as Tabachi, sorry. We'll be
Then we are
just
guilty for it. So for sure, here's the thing, Bakazia. Let me just back up. I'll back you up on this particular one for sure. So
Lero Bakazia very popular now, backing up in Gizman.
I attended an African forum where seminar where Mulambo Haimbe was there, and he was asked, isn't that Mulambo the foreign minister for our country? He was asked on a radio program, I mean a TV program like by I think a Ghanaian TV about this situation about critical minerals that he was talking about that has been coming in the media that America is trying to do this and that so they can take critical minerals from us. He downplayed it. Oh no, we are actually engaged with our American counterparts on some other levels, and these things that are in the media are just discussing them. I mean, this is when they should come out and tell us the truth about these critical minerals about it. There's nothing wrong to say that. I mean, of course, there are protocols and why they can't announce to the country, but when it comes to a point where this guy is calling out corruption and this and that, like basically throwing all the dirt in the in the yard. This is what Bakazia is very right. The government should have come up with a counter statement and say that everything that we talk about critical minerals is all speculation. Nothing official has ever come out as us pundits who sit down here and discuss it. But somebody has got the evidence. We have the audio and video of this ambassador coming out and insulting our country in our face, and nobody's coming to defend us. So no, we created these problems on ourselves. But it is true, he can speak only like that if he's allowed to, and we have allowed it.
Okay, we haven't heard from Dr. Danny. Dr. Danny, I'm sure is itching right now. He wants to give his point of view. You know, but Danny, where do you begin? Dr. Danny. Oh, he dropped off. He dropped off. He's just back now. Oh, damn. He just dropped off. And then it's, what it is, Dr. Danny. Yes, we want to hear your side of the story on this issue.
I've been listening, and what most of us are saying is 100%. Bakazia is right, and the rest of our colleagues here, what they are saying is right. We have created this monster, starting from the time we were in opposition, and the opposition as well, the current opposition are also doing the same thing. Remember, everything that happens in the government, they go and line up at the gate of an ambassador. Please, talk for us, talk for us. So we continue worshipping these ambassadors in our countries, and as long as they say something, look, Hari Kalaba was saying that's the best thing where the government has to be taught. Yes, let them tell them. So it's wrong. It's wrong. We tend to worship these people. Now, in terms of what he said himself, he's a typical Republican politician. Republicans do not like to lose. They always want to win. There's no compromise for them. So he's a typical Republican Trump type of character. In diplomatic service, your resume is why am I having this echo system? Is it? Am I the only one?
Well, I think everybody that's not speaking, let's mute ourselves.
Yeah, I can hear it echo as well for you, Dr. Danny.
I'm wondering what's going on.
Yeah. So everybody, let's mute ourselves, and then when it's time to speak, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So, in diplomatic service, you are gauged. Your success rate is gauged by how many deals you made in whatever country you've been. So that's what matters in when you're an ambassador. So if you look at the resumes for these ambassadors, they'll tell you, oh, I was in Vietnam, I clinched this thing on behalf of America, I did this on behalf of America. So That's what matters. And for him to have not clinched this this mineral thing, it was really a failure on his part. And so it doesn't really. Probably the bosses up there in Washington, they told him you've failed in your duties. You're supposed to clinch this deal. So as a diplomat, that is a failure. You don't want that type of record on your resume that you failed to clinch a deal with the Zambian government to do this. So it doesn't. So to me, it also comes from that aspect. That's the performance. What do they call it? The performance ratings for diplomats.
Yes.
Is how many deals you have clinched in the countries you've been. So, but otherwise, allowing him to have that confidence to speak on that stage openly and without any reservations, just talking as if he's in his own country. It's us who have created that. And we continue doing that. And I'm told tomorrow, the other day, the oppositions are going there to beg him again. I don't know, they're taking a birthday cake, a farewell cake for him. So it's this type of mentality. This is, what do they call it?
They want to take a birthday cake?
No, farewell party, what for him? They are going
to I think they already had that one. They already had that one.
No, they're taking, because he's leaving, eh?
Yes, yes.
Oh, they took it already. So they all
yes. That's why he said all these things. That is at the embassy farewell party.
Yeah. So you go there, and then they don't even allow you inside. They address you at the gate. At the gate, they put a tent at the gate. You enter inside, and then you are thinking that it's just, we are so, I don't know how we think as Zambians sometimes. We are making these guys feel very special. Thank you.
All right. Okay. I think let's listen to Vakalinda. We haven't heard from you.
All right. So I'm going to wear 2 jackets here, right? So I'll wear the jacket of I'm hearing an echo. Somebody has 2 browsers open. Anyway, mute yourself, because I can hear the feedback in my ear. Okay, so here's where I am with this thing. Okay, so as an American, I'm going to say we are allowed to speak our mind on anything, no matter what. That's why we have this 25th Amendment enshrined in our Constitution. So we speak our mind. I'll put a footnote there. So what the ambassador said in Zambia, really, for me, I think it's much ado about nothing, because first off, we know we have a mess in the health sector that we haven't fixed. These guys went in, did an audit, and found American drugs paid by my tax dollar that is deducted from my paycheck on the streets of Lusaka. How do you think an ambassador will feel from that audit? And we are basically yes, we have arrested a few directors, and then let the big fish is still roaming the streets of Lusaka. Some of them, they're even aspiring for presidents. Yeah? So if we say today that under this government, you know which government I'm talking about, we say, okay, look, fix your mess. But what are we doing? We're scratching, and we're saying we're fixing corruption. Because we haven't really done the depth of the problem. That's at the Ministry of Health. Yes, we have a new minister. The other one was fired. What are they doing? They fired a few directors. Okay, they're going through the courts and all that. But we haven't fixed the problem. We haven't fixed the issue. How many directors at ZAMSA or the Ministry or PSS are we going to fire? How many have we fired so far at the Ministry of Health? I can count with probably my 2 fingers. We have had maybe 4 or 5 PSS fired, and 6, 7 directors and deputy directors. Why are we failing to fix the mess? Because everybody we're hiring, guess what? In a few months, they also start stealing. their medication that disappears from the border, or medicine that are being found in warehouses. I mean, you know me. I speak my mind. So how do you expect an ambassador to? Because he has to report to his government at the end of the day. Because this is the State Department, they are monitoring what's happening in Zambia. So they are calling him and say, hey, Gonzalez, what is going on there? Are you talking to these people? I mean, we have had talks between the government, the health ministry, but we have not fixed the issue. We are just scratching the surface. To me, the Minister of Health, that we need an overhaul. I mean, I haven't seen it yet. I mean, the only thing I'll give them, thank you, because we had Bradley come in here and tell us at least, we have no shortages of drugs in our hospital. So that's a quenyu. But in terms of corruption at that ministry, we haven't dealt with it. So this ambassador has to answer to his boss at the State Department. What have they done?
This problem has been existing for a long time.
Oh yes, it started within my PF. Let's just be honest.
The question is that this time PF
no, the same people are still there.
Which same people?
H didn't fire anybody.
This is where you miss.
Look, Bakazia, look. The corruption issue in the Ministry of Health spans way back, maybe even 20 years ago.
This is a 2021 to 2025 audit we are talking about. It's not before PF. This is
no.
The $400 million given is this year.
Listen, Wakazia. This issue started way before.
You see, you cannot.
No. Let's not mislead. Wakazia.
I have one question for you.
Listen to what I'm going to say. Let's not mislead the public.
Answer the question. Don't say you're misleading people.
Wait a minute. The issue of corruption in the health sector didn't start after 2021.
This guy, the one is talking about,
the beans nika blanket or mulefa.
You are trying to use things that are very simple.
The problem kale ya tampa.
The problem ya ilanda pogonzela si hadi. When did this start?
Look, here's the thing. Okay, let me give you an example. Naisa fe munganda nasana zanga. Muneni Bakazia mulesunga bana nensala shanshana. Mwe wantu akoleza. Awe. Last year, so you cannot judge. Are
you listening to yourself?
So Gonzalez was not there before 2021. He doesn't have that information.
Are you listening to yourself? How many people in this forum who can agree with you the way you are narrating things? These are things that they gave and they went to audit. 400 million this year, they will go and audit. You are not going to blame PF for that. How can you do that? You are not going to blame PF. These guys are thieves and they need to be prosecuted.
Listen. I can tell you one thing. Before 2021, the corruption was huge. It was humongous.
Yeah, the point was. I think you are lost in this topic. You are so lost, my brother. You are lost.
Okay. Corruption ya Ministry of Health when the UPND came into government.
We are talking about Gonzalez. What time is frame?
But what Gonzalez is saying is just from when he came.
Gonzalez,
he's not looking at the whole picture.
Gonzalez
is not looking at the whole picture. What we need to look at is the whole picture. When did this corruption begin?
Corruption has been there even corruption. We
Exactly.
hate people that. So the question is that this time,
From 2021.
the
Why
topic,
you want
I
to
am making reference to the topic that we are discussing about Gonzales and the money that is being telling you stolen. This is money paid for by Bakalinda USA in 2021, 2023. Mwasenda mwaya ibenda lama mwasenda no muti na 61 containers basa investigate baya kuka sempa basango muti ufiro kuwa muchipatalo in 2021 uli past it. Then you come and say no PF. What are you doing about it? You can't gaslight those. He's talking about things like anti-corruption commission. He's talking about mines. He's talking about Indalama, which suddenly disappears in Zambia, Yafika Kuma, China. He's talking about a lot of things. Those things, ngakwali diplomatic channel, which is most stringent. There are things that are spoken to in the bedroom of country to country. It is not an ambassador to walk up and say this, even if it is true. If I want to land up, not that one.
That's why we're saying that Montoria Tava diplomatic.
It doesn't need to be.
All right, can I come in now? I mean, it's gone on long enough.
Reclaim your time, Wakarim.
Let me reclaim my time. So at this point, I think we've exhausted, this topic.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Let's just move on to the next one.
Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next topic. Sorry, who's talking? But Danny, is it you? All right. Okay. I think the next topic we need to think about is something that's really related to us as Africans, and something that's going to touch our heart, because this is something huge and something big and something that's been going on, just like we've been discussing other things. Things don't just start from nowhere. They've been going on for years and years and years. And because, for example, right now in South Africa, there's another xenophobic attack. Okay? Xenophobic people of African descent are attacking South Africans, attacking their fellow brothers and sisters of African descent. Now, this is something that we need to start thinking about, because South Africa just got independent. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was in 1994. What year was that? 1994, 96. I can't remember exactly. But they have not been independent for a long time because of apartheid. Apartheid made South Africa to be what it is today. But was apartheid caused by fellow blacks? No. Apartheid was something that everybody in the whole region of Africa was against. And they said, we are not going to stand and watch our brothers and sisters in South Africa fight this war alone. Can we come in and help in a way we can? All African countries came in. Zambia in particular, we did a lot for South Africa. A lot. If it wasn't for Kenneth Kaunda, Gatabamufunye Mandela ku Robben Island. Because Kenneth Kaunda had to go and negotiate. Now, South Africa, okay? He narrated the story exactly. I watched his story, how he went and sat down. He's just explaining. And Zambia in particular, abantu bonse aba South Africa barama freedom fight. Barikala mu Zambia. Okay? In other parts of Africa. Now you can imagine this. After that, abantu bamona batambo kutusendere amachito. What are we looking at? I mean, why are we turning against each other? And then all these things are just being done. Kuma Soweto, kuma nani kani, all these low density areas. Kuma, areas where there's, predominantly Fueva Fidi Cafe. Cape Town, they're not going to do that because automatically they're going to be here. But here's the big question is, why is the South African government quiet on this one? I've never heard any statement. I've never heard anything. And, maybe that's why they even arrested Julius Malema, because I don't know. Well, that one was, I don't know. But Julius Malema once said one thing. He said that nishi twakwatira amaborders aya because our borders are tayaripo before abasuku baishire takwayo amaborders abantu bale yafe from one place to another. And then he said one other thing, that I thought was significant and important. And despite I don't agree with some of his other things, his policies for party, but one thing he said that I agreed with him was that, why don't we come up with a one language that can be taught in all secondary schools across Africa that we can all understand? And you can imagine this. The languages, in South Africa, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Namibia, Zambia, and all these other parts, it's just the same, but in my dialects, but in the most part, you can sit down, like I can sit down with somebody from Tanzania. But here, what but ndio mfamo mliko nechibemba mliko nechinyanja mwamona chimo chinava Zulu ba ku South Africa ndio mfwa mwamona chimo chine namanani kane navandebere ola mashona mwamfwa kwanje walera ndefi. You can able to understand. So if we can able to have one unique language that we can all agree on, gentlemen, I'm throwing up to the to everybody. Nobody wants to talk about xenophobia. Hello? Oh, maybe my mic is off or something. Can anybody hear me?
Yep. We can hear you.
Okay, so let's talk about xenophobia. I don't know. People are pretty much quiet. I don't understand. I thought there's something that people wanted to discuss.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, the problem in South Africa is huge in terms of the mindset of South Africans. It's very difficult to educate the masses about where they're coming from. I think they needed to really instill that in the young people as they are growing up, to know that they are where they are because of other African countries. I think that message was not relayed to them. They don't understand that they are independent, they are enjoying life because of other African countries. So that's the message that was supposed to be delivered to them from way back when they got independent. But I think that vacuum is what we are seeing now. The vacuum in the information as to where they are coming from and where they are. That was not relayed to them, because most of them don't understand that a lot of countries sacrifice on their behalf, and that's the independence and the life they're enjoying now in South Africa is due to other African countries. Because if you ask them, they were asking other people in the streets to say, hey, why are you chasing these people? Oh, these people just come here to get our jobs and what? They should go to their country and develop their countries. We have nothing to do with them. And the reporter asked, do you know that they are the ones who liberated you from the chains of apartheid? They said, no, Mandela fought for us. Mandela won. So they are ignorant, completely ignorant. The message has not been, they haven't been educated about their history. I think that's the main problem going on in South Africa. They are not aware of how they got independent. They don't know. Thank you.
I think what Dan is right. When you see, you can feel pity and bad when you see the level of ignorance. It's so bad. Like where you think that the blacks are the ones that are a problem, except for the ones that treated, the people that treated you with apartheid, they are really enjoying themselves and they have nothing to do with the, they are having fun. They are even creating communities where they say there should never be any black person here. You saw that, I don't know what, there was a black guy who went to do a documentary there. They've created an all-white community and saying that they can't mix. And they say they're South Africans, but they can't mix this time. They're seeking for independence and things like that. The ones that have really taken the opportunities from them, actually, investment opportunities, ownership, and everything else. Then you come and see the person who has taken a job away from you is a guy selling sweets on the street. The guy selling, rappers on the street is the one who has taken a job from you. It's bad. You feel bad. And what is even worse is that the government has not done enough. The government of South Africa, they've not moved in to stop that. It's like there's someone within the government system in South Africa who is supporting that. How do you support without consequence? People just stand up and beat a person out of there because just from Zimbabwe or from whatever, from Ghana, they attack you, they beat you right there. And what you see is not a government crack down on xenophobia. Now, what will happen is that as they are watching these things happen, other countries will react, and it will not be right. Because if you're going to chase other people for absolute nothing, and then you have all the South African companies, you have South African trucks that are running in these countries, the economy is really embedded within the Southern Africa region. South Africa is a powerhouse. When people start now to act on South Africa, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? I'm very ashamed of those actions, man. It's very difficult. I had a chat with some of my white friends here, and how do I defend that? It was difficult. It was difficult, And the guy just sent me a video of that guy who said don't want the blacks here, and then he sends me the video of this all-white community within South Africa, and say, is something wrong with you guys? Why are they not kicking out these guys here? Anyway, it's an embarrassment.
What you're saying, Bagazia, actually is something that, in fact, Donald Trump na Elon Musk. Elon Musk is obviously, his heritage is from South Africa. So he presented a story which was very unverified. That in South Africa, abasungu balebe paya. And then Donald Trump na TV kwanza muntu tatekanya. Atambo kubi no munene ofo balebe paya abasungu kunani kan twara abalefo kwisa kwikara kwa America twara. So I was like, So that wasn't even the case, but that area you're talking about is actually real when it exists. Oko veka la fiaba kungu veka hebari kalafi. But was segregated and they have their own currency, believe it or not. They have their own economy. Maybe they would go out and do it, but they got everything. And I actually watched the YouTube blogger Wadamaya. He went there to check. And for sure, bali kwata currency yabo shani mukati mwa South Africa. Mama. But if into it's been allowed by the government, and and even some time back. Moneni, Timo Chine na kuzambia pia. Filofo bekala mama nani kana our neso ama Asians. You know, bafwa kuchita segregate baikala kubombe, kukamwala kulia, shani. These are the things I was talking about.
Chinatown.
If you don't check it, it can lead to that. Because sometimes I had a friend of mine, asa tampo kustana ni kani balea pale padzio. So basa batampo kutadate na kanani kani. Kusa mustadi so ni umwa ichejere. I know because ule dating achifita to akutadi so mama. Luckily, you guys are from family yako watu bali kwata kwa ndarama. No problem. To accept. But look, these are just not issues. We should be able to start fighting in 2026 in the modern world. Because you can wire you can go from Brazil but when it comes to our own countries, I think we need to set up a standard or rules. If we need to, we're the ones to predict what we want. Not ama foreigners watapoko mnyeba awe bane ifwe imwe mule kaloku ifwe twaye kaloku you know for itampa panono. But if you don't check this thing,
and just to share an experience, and I think because of those racist tendencies that are in South Africa, apartheid, you find that in Zambia it started with the mines, especially after Kansanshi opened up and deployed a lot of South Africans. They started to create secluded places for their expatriate labor and the Zambian executives, whereby babikana mageti kusana babikana mageti to go there, you have to have a pass. For the wine, a pass. So maybe 2 gates, and they say I mean gengila coffee. Now it starts with that kind of behavior, and then you find that even for Zambians, the ones that become managers and get ingrained in that system, when they start excluding my mother because that's to my phone, Africa kusolwezi maybe alefa kumwenilunga and motoka yamufuira alishiba tumwana wanje bomba kansanshi. Now because itachinjeba phone na isa drain aisa pagate at ndea mukumona umwana wandi in this area at no tebatwebera tuleisa, so you can't go in. Imo umwana wandi uyu ndangu mipwa wandi, I've all the information. I recall him at no, we don't have information that you are coming, so you cannot go in. So it starts with small things like that, and then I was so much against that, and I even raised that. I hope there's something that is being done about that. In my reports, it was that we need to stop this from happening. Abantunga baisa, Canada, you will never find a place to go to. You can go and drive in Orangeview where the millionaires are. You can go in the river frontage, drive around and go out. You know, so those are some of the things that we must be able to do. Racist tendencies they build over time, and now we also even start to discriminate amongst ourselves, and we don't know that who is doing it. So we need to actually be very, very careful with the tendencies and some of the things that we do. I fought so hard about the issue of discrimination, especially in the pay grades, such that in the law currently, to a required which actually punishes discrimination in terms of equal way, but the point is that it is still happening. And the Ministry of Labor is not adequately capacitated to fix all these things around the mines. So Abasungu, they just see the capacity.
Bakalinda, you mute yourself, Bakalinda. Bakalinda, you mute yourself.
Yeah.
You are muted. It's not me, I'm muted.
Who's the culprit?
Yeah, so that's the thing. So thank you, Watanda. I hope we can work around these things and change the narrative.
Okay. I want to come in since I can see that. No, I want to come in real quick. Very quickly. Let me chip in first. My brother. And then you can come after me. Because for me, I have a different take on this. And my take is, Africans, stay in your countries. Fix the issues. Why are you running away from the issues? Fix your issues in your own country. Hold your leadership accountable to fix your issues. Forget about South Africa. Those people are savages. And they'll never change. I'm sorry. They are savages. They don't, they don't respect the law. They don't respect the police. They don't respect anybody.
I have a question for you, Bakalinda.
Yes, go ahead.
So here is my question. So I agree that let's get everyone who is in South Africa out. Should the same happen to South Africans that are in other countries, to send them back to South Africa so they can go fix the xenophobia things?
Yes, let's do that. I mean,
that's going to create a problem. Anyway, continue with the train of thought. What you were saying?
Yes, let's fix the issues in our own countries. I mean, why would I leave Zambia and go and start selling Salaula on the streets of Johannesburg? Why would I do that? I mean, if I'm going to leave Zambia, I should be going there as an expatriate. That's what I say.
They don't care whether you're an expatriate. That's where the problem is. Not that you're an expatriate.
The problem, because here's the thing. Let me just give you an example. I went to South Africa on some workshops way back, sponsored by the British government. I was attached to the Sowetan. It was a study workshop. I was attached to the Sowetan newspaper, one of the leading newspapers in South Africa. And do you know that on the second day, the editor was the white man. He called me and said to me, "Would you like a job here?" I said, "What?" He said, no, we want you here because we have issues, serious issues among ourselves. And I saw those issues. There were fights happening in the newsroom. And you know, if two black people are fighting, right? And somebody's running, a black person is running all the way from the break room. They don't even ask questions about who did what. They're just joining, you know. So it was black against white. It was a whole confusion. So when I was offered that job, I told the guy, I said, look, I mean, I would like to work for you. However, I don't think I would thrive in this environment because, one, I'm a foreigner, and two, the other people we have employed, it seems to me that, they are not have enough education to match my thinking process. So the discord in this newsroom will continue because you have not had people that are professionally or qualified to handle this. You gave them jobs on the premise of, well, we need to balance out now because we are in a new government, because that's what the law says. You have to have an equal number of white people and black people in the newsroom. And then you bring in people that actually don't have the experience, they don't have the qualification. So that's one thing. So to me, I'm saying most South Africans, yes, they don't have jobs. So their jobs, their maids and stuff, but because what's the issue? So the South African government needs to fix the education system because their people are not educated. That's why they feel, they feel if you see somebody who is educated and is a foreigner and has a high-paying job and they live in these exclusive areas, expensive areas that they can't afford, like Santon, so now your anger is directed to those people who are qualified. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying let's fix our own issues with our own governments so that we take our own, I mean, we use the opportunities in our own countries. That way we don't have to worry about those savages. I put a footnote there. Mr. Marshall, you can come in.
Yes, you know what modern witchcraft is?
Modern witchcraft.
Modern witchcraft
What is that?
is practiced by this man who's not educated, and then he looks at Chandakazia, who's so educated, struggling to find a job. That is witchcraft, and they are very happy. Wachanda has gone to school. He just needs that job because he has the papers. So they feel nice. That is witchcraft.
Mata, Musuminisha, Mupena example, but it's going to be a political example.
No. Lekeni mpwisha kulanda. Lekeni mshirapusha kusamba. Mshirapusha kulanda. Mshirapusha kutashani. Mwishinsha mshirapusha kusamba kumino. Now, listen. At the agriculture show society, kuja ku showgrounds kuja wachanda kazi. If you didn't know, there's a place where they still practice racism. White farmers, exclusive white farmers, have a bar during show time where they just meet as the exclusive whites drinking beer there, and the price of a lager is, I don't know, priced beyond the reach of an African, beyond the reach of a normal black man. They just have their own standards. I'm a Boer from South Africa. They still have places where they meet and make it as if it's a small South Africa. Africa currently should be borderless. You see how they are living in these countries of theirs, like here in Europe, the European Union. People are free to go around. But now look at Africa, where they came to do a scramble for Africa in 1884. They leave boundaries there, and those boundaries now, we're using them to ill-treat ourselves, which is not good. Africa currently should be borderless. The fact that it's borderless, everyone should move freely. Like that xenophobic thing in South Africa. I felt bad when I watched it extend to school children, small children going to school, being kicked out of school. They call them Operation Dudula. I mean, we need to be civil because education is a human right.
Mata, can I support you, Kaidi?
Okay, yes.
with a political example.
Okay, make it flat.
Okay,
flat.
I'll make it very difficult. I'll make it hard a little bit. That is the same process where I see a young man who has maybe moderate Katushinga Pere School grade 7 or grade 9. Isa as a UPND, part of the management committee. You cannot stand as an independent, and I will make sure you don't. I will make sure that you can't stand, but the law is clear. What about the law? He doesn't care about the law. Example, when you find umuntu shaya ku school, aba threatened by umuntu ya ku school, they usually become very, very bad. So I support what you've said with that example.
So that xenophobia thing, if okay, you know that there's a museum in along Pama Tank Pa Chelston Paria, the house where Thabo Mbeki, who's this former one of the prominent South Africans was staying there. There's a museum there. Who's this? What's the name of this airport in South Africa? Oliver Tambo. There's a house there. It's now a museum. Because we can't live. Those guys those are party people. They like partying. When it comes to work, they're lazy. Even their women, they don't like the men because the men are basically lazy. All this noisy, partying, drinking, dancing. When they see us going to South Africa, driving trucks, that's hard job. Then cannot know we can't be doing these jobs. But they have a lot of product, they have a lot of industries there that produce goods which our market wants, including the Congo DR. They don't know that no country has everything. Trade has to take place. The fact that trade has to take place, migrant labor cannot be avoided because them are lazy. They are sitting on golden chances. They could have as well had an education, but the time they were supposed to be in school, what were they doing? They were busy in the political violence, hacking each other. Remember, it was very difficult to get independence in South Africa. They were busy in the liberation struggle. The white man built more prisons than schools. If you remember that, Lucky Dube sang that song. He built more prisons than schools, and that's the reason the education thing left them. So most of them are bitter, and because they are bitter, they even feel that education is a waste of time. So whoever comes there looking successful to them is not a thing. In fact, they even say he will grab our women. Have an affair with a married woman in South Africa as a Zambian. You don't know how you are going to die. You can't just know.
Oh, my goodness.
Naleka.
But Daddy has been quiet. But Daddy, what's your take on all this? Are you there,
Vadani n'abalanda kale.
So anyway, I think my own personal experience, I can tell you one thing. Ichalo cha Zambia, I think it was pama levels ya kwevati we're the best country in Africa. And if my issues here, I think that it's not relating to us really. And if it is South Africa, it's real sad because you can imagine like South Africa. If you look back, okay, South Africa getting independence in 1994, and Ichalo cha Zambia were already independent. Us were in 1964, and we helped them to gain that independence by releasing Nelson Mandela. And Kaunda negotiated, put up his money, we put out our minerals. Okay, we paid the price for the release of Mandela. Okay? And that story has been buried with Kenneth Kaunda. There's a lot of things that we did, the money, copper that had to move from Zambia to South Africa to enable the release of Mandela. And there was one house there, is it Celto or Telecel or whatever? Okay, that was the house of one of the freedom fighters. They turned into a Telecel party, a Celto, whatever it's called now. I don't know what it's called nowadays, but that was Palongeka's party. Opposite pa golf club. That was the house for one of those freedom fighters. A lot of them, they went to university, even all these because we're more stable, we're more independent, and we accepted everybody. But for some, umwina chifirika nkomfwefe ku South Africa kulya ati baipa umwina Zambia awe ineshaka temu because kabalole shama abena South Africa awe bani ngamwaipa yo omuntu wesu nishimwatutuka efo fionso fo twami imwe. They owe us a lot. They owe us a lot. In fact, it's not to get even put a value to what the South African people owe Zambia. There's no value to it. There's no
so
value.
much. They owe us so much. They are the reason we are underdeveloped.
There's no value to what we did to help them. And bakaunda bafe nokufafe zona bamdala bachukuru. May so rest in peace. Without revealing, but he reveals certain things. He reveals certain things, and if you look, if there's tika nomba, te Africa ya yalipo ya insta ya bena kaunda, insta ya bena Kwame Nkrumah, insta ya bena Julius Nyerere. This is not the Africa, because at that time people were joining hands. But if where is the African Union in all this? Okay, where is SADC? I'm organization SADC. When was the I've never ever heard from them in the last 10 years. Are they still existing? Is SADC still there? Is African Union still there? I don't understand it, because I mean, if things like this are happening, and then these big organizations that so claim to, patronize these things, they are quiet, they're not saying anything. Do they exist, or they just on paper? Mwebantu wakole Bakazia.
Bamache poverty.
Okay, Mamacha, okay, go ahead.
You see, when we talk about South African independence, it came at the expense of development in Zambia. We supported a movement, ANC, that was going to get power at the expense of critical investment by the donors from outside the country. They were fearing that if we support this, if we develop Zambia, if we help to develop Zambia, we will not be doing service. Remember, there were sanctions that time. Huh? Those sanctions affected us big time. And now this generation just thinks they can just come and do as and when they wish to victimize anyone for whatever reasons. For lack of a better word, I'm not the reason why they are illiterate, I'm not to blame. That's their own problem. They didn't want to go to school. But they had the better educational services, even after independence. They were given enough time. 1994 to date, surely. How many years is that? Almost 30. Is it? About 30 years or so. They should have done something to better their education. But all they are looking at is who is coming in this country, what are they coming to do? It's not fair. I yield.
Thank you very much for that. Vakalinda, do you have anything else to say on this one?
Anything else to say on this one?
Fix your own issues in your own country and stay there. Leave South Africa alone.
Is that the end now? Are we almost winding up now?
Yeah. So, Vamacha always ask these questions. Look, if you want to just leave. Like we don't have to move with your direction.
If they have topics to be discussed, so that we move to
it's the next topic. The next topic. I'm not saying I want to leave
next topic. Next topic is this. Okay. So this is the next topic, and I think you guys are gonna love this. So. The next topic. Oh yeah. Okay. The last topic. What's this? MPs. That's an issue that's I think has been a topic of the whole week. People saying, they're signing up, changing, because of these constituencies and all these limitations. We're seeing people opening up to different sectors. And I was just watching the other day, but Jack Mwimbu is saying he's going to be a new candidate for Monze East. Okay, so I'm like, okay, and all that. And we're seeing all these other people, different sections that have changed. Somebody was supposed to stand here, now he's standing here. Somebody was supposed to stand in McKinney, now it's so it's sort of like according to what Mark was saying, is like it's not reducing people's efforts, but it's saying is like it's everything. All the positions are up for grabs. Go to a location where you know you can win. Chapa. What are we saying about all these MPs going on in all these different sections, and especially the UPND and the PF and all these opposition parties joining the UPND now? And we know that Chavinga is saying is going to stand on UPND. So what are the legal ramifications? Is that right or wrong? Like, what are we looking at these things? Mr. Danny.
So, if our Dan is not ready, we can go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think there is a bit of confusion that we've created. There is a lot of confusion that has been created by the systems that we supposed to hold people accountable. Number one, you have members of parliament that have crossed the floor, but they are still enjoying being members of parliament in a party they've left. Except I don't think even the independents. You have a deputy speaker who crosses the floor, and you see he crosses the floor with no consequences whatsoever. No consequences. The next day he shows up. The law is very clear. They even refuse to have a conversation over it. And then these are people that for me I've spoken about, that tell me what is in there for the people when people behave in that manner. What is it there for the people? Because if people have voted for you under UPND, you campaigned UPND, then you come and in the midst of an active parliamentary session, you say, I have joined the PF.
It's not me. I have no kids over here.
How does Wakazia never Ndelanda? So how do I mute
Wakazia is watching his son playing football.
No. Wakalinda, I'm not doing what you are saying right now.
Yeah? So, okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Abantu benu afuma ati nafuma ku UPN na join a PF ana ku parliament the next day aikara na pampando ati ni nebo member of parliament. Who are you representing? And then what kind of lawlessness is that? And then the next thing, you send 72 laws that you want to do within 2 weeks. Who does that? Because the people are going to switch camp and you now held people at ransom. The next thing, what happens? You guys now go and tell people to say you can't stand as independent. You guys now go. You've created a lot of confusion. And no one is answering to those questions. When you ask a question, when the conversation comes, it has to talk about something we have not even asked about. How can we allow this? We are allowing lawlessness now, and UPND is enjoying from the lawlessness because now
what's the lawlessness? I want to understand what's the lawlessness.
Yes, is that when you are a member of parliament elected under the Patriotic Front, You can't cross at na join a UPND and still go to parliament as a member of Patriotic Front. Section 72 of the Article 72 of the Constitution is clear. Once you cross, you cease to be a member of parliament. The speaker has done that. That is the lawlessness I'm talking about.
No, I think they're standing on the UPND to become UPND.
I'm talking about, unless you're not listening to me, I'm talking about the active session. Yes, dissolve parliament. You can move and say I've crossed the floor. There's nothing wrong with that. Parliament is dissolved, baneno mbana yaku UPND. Parliament is active, mulepangana laws. UPND. You're supposed to quit immediately to be a member of parliament. That is what the law says. But nobody is able to enforce that.
No, but have we asked these people if they have quit or not? Not really.
What are you talking about? The people I'm talking about are people that have quit on their own record. Not
Have they put it in written?
All these people that have come to UPND, have they quit or not?
This is one of the things that has let our country down. Conversation, straightforward. You want someone who comes to Papa Podium, I mean that in a join a UPND, they mean a UPND. And then you say, oh, have you written?
That is hearsay.
It's not enough for Mamoch Padichakwe.
In that manner. You can't go to parliament, you know, where I mean that never PF footy.
No, understand? Hearsay. Nothing is written. It's
but if you are finish to Amboka for what Wamaka does. Because if you see,
okay.
And this
okay, help me understand something. Let's just be honest with each other. I belong to UPND. Okay? And then I think UPND te party and okay. In fact, I don't even tell you my details. Maybe I went to party and now we want to call it me I'm resigning. But because of social media, we don't know the details.
But
right?
Yes, if you don't know, if you're like that, you don't know. What if you know? Speak from the position. If you don't know, there's no one who can blame you for it because you don't know. Or if you have not come up and said Papa can come in to suspect again, that is nobody can say you've done this.
No. I think these people are well intelligent enough for them to know the law you're talking about. I don't think they're so ignorant to say, oh, I'm still UPND, and then I can just go join the PF.
The problem is that if you are going to have, is this conversation going to be necessary? If we say Ngandela and then you listen. So if I start behaving the way you are behaving, tell me that you'll be okay. Because
okay. I think Makazia, you're missing a point here. I just want to clarify for the public. Okay? And then we educate each other. Because umuntu ngasta resign from a political party. As and that, oh, now join a party imbi. Okay? As you've said, you've stated yourself. But according to your information, we learn that Abantu, they've not resigned from their own political parties. They've joined another party. But what information do we have that is saying that they did not resign from their party?
Do you want me to answer now?
That's what I'm saying. It's hearsay.
Do you want me to answer that time?
Because us outside looking in as people for political parties, when I'll stand on this ticket, I'll stand on this ticket. But if they're going to do that, if they know truly, if they are well knowledgeable candidates and honorable, obviously have that information.
I don't know why you've decided to behave the way you are doing right now, to cut. You ask a question and then you start debating your own question.
Okay, go ahead.
And then you yourself start to debate the same question you've asked. So what did you want me to say?
Go ahead, Mr. Kazia.
The answer. Me, I told you to say, nobody says you can't join a party of your choice. It is one fundamental right, and it is enshrined in our constitution. But it is also in our constitution that says, Inenga ndetse representing UPND in the parliament. Tetinde ya PF at na join a PF lelo. Elo akachero na wele la ku parliament. Na I mean as UPND. I can't do that. It means ine mfuire na aleko kwa member of parliament na kwa by election elo nomba vansala on UPND ticket on PF ticket elo na wele la ku parliament. And this is a thing that nobody has forced people. People have gone at Inenai Mamoyo, who is deputy speaker at Mbale na join the UPND perene chitenge mfwali ndi pa platform wakateka ine na mujoina lero. Ero akachero mairo ai maya ku parliament ati nebo shani deputy speaker represent as an independent one. So that is the lawlessness that I'm talking about. But if it is okay, Mamoyo is an independent.
Yeah. So let's give an example of from one party to another.
It is not allowed when in the life cycle of parliament for you to cross the floor. Go to the constitution and see what it means to cross the floor. It is not allowed. But when people behave with impunity, it doesn't mean that because the law is there, people cannot break it. People, even that are educated, choose to break the law. It's not that they didn't know that they cannot steal, they know. But because they will behave like that. So this is a lawlessness. But it is allowed when it favors the people in government. They will dance when they leave. If you are in a payment of our ministers paying back, they also behave the same way. After the parliament is dissolved, you continue getting the salaries. They said no, not to quarter interpretation, so we are okay. What happened? The law visited them afterwards. So it is something that must be stopped. We must stop lawlessness. It doesn't matter who is doing it. In Yanga, when they say it must be stopped. Not to rationalize it, if you intelligent rationalization. Yes, you can rationalize it intelligently. But if you are speaking to people with basic knowledge and understanding, basic analysis, who are supposed civics in we destroy our own democracy.
No. I mean, it's not about civics. It's deeper than that. But in any case, certain issues, land. To understand if into for the sake of the public, we cannot allow a situation where if somebody has gone to resign party as that UPND, and then because of lack of the knowledge and all that and information, wonder but when you go deep down, once my baby was under resigning. I'm no longer the party of this. I'm no longer part of this party, which has happened so many times, and we have seen it. Independence is a different animal altogether. But I think let's close because he agitated it. And it can go on and on and on and on. So let's close. And last remarks, Vakazia, your last remarks, and let's close.
My last remarks is Mr. Kazia owes us an answer to him standing accused. There's an issue. Yeah, he stands accused. Guilty or not guilty. He stands accused. In the social media, there is a stink about him. I don't know, Mr. Kazia. I'm in court. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
What happened?
Yeah. So the only Mwadisi wa master, what is good is that what makes sense, people are able to tell. The only fortunate part is that it is a blogger. It's a blogger alleged associated with government. That was decided to do that, which publish everything that is just manufactured. And I'm very glad.
Give us a heads up. What is involved here? What? Give us a heads up.
No. Someone just started from the Watchdog and wrote an article about me. About that I left Canada with $100,000. I don't know where you saw that.
There's no smoke without fire.
Yeah, there's no smoke without fire. Especially if you can create a fire in your head. You can also create a smoke.
There is no smoke without fire. Even the first men had to create fire.
There's a love child in Zambia, Mwasha. There's a love child.
This is why you see, there is you can create a fire in your head and manufacture smoke and start seeing it. You can then that there is fire and there is smoke at the same time because it is a manufactured thing in your head. But you see, the good news is a person may think he has it, but one day he will be held to account.
Did you declare the $100,000?
Let me tell you something which is going to make you even stop laughing because my daughter saw that and she started crying. Imagine. You see, that is why it is not right. And you see, imagine if my wife was illiterate. What would happen?
Oh, yeah.
What would happen there? And then, quite another question you. So, what did you say? It's like trying to destroy the lives of the family, the lives of my kids, and stuff like that. So I have to sit down and start running. Now, the purpose that is what is difficult is that do you know that where your children almost start wanting to comment on it, you say no? Because here in the Western world, Baba Kalinda and Bachanda, you know how literate our kids are. They are very, 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 very literate. Very, very literate, but also they are very sensitive because of how family is viewed here. So, I can tell you for a fact, one day, it will take time because I know that they are shielded right now. And that is why from the comments you could see Abantu not being very pleased with that because people know me. When we are serving in these offices, they know you from the family, they know you how you relate to other people, they know how you treat yourself, how you conduct yourself. I was lucky I'm not reckless. If I was reckless, and imagine Fidia, people wouldn't defend you. People jump to defend me because they know that if it's malice. From unprovoked. Or even that platform itself, the watchdog. If I had started the fight with them and said something to them, they can say, okay, maybe they're hitting you back at what you said. I don't know what I did. I don't know I offended. Someone sat down and it just produced that. And they've not apologized. They've not retracted it. I will. But one day, someone will be held accountable.
Okay. I think we're closing now. Maybe those were your closing remarks.
Before you close, Shatlanda Popanani, Pama parliamentaries, because you guys were going on and on. Here's my take on it. I'm very happy that Dixon Jerry has decided to join UPND, because that's my buddy. You know, like Ivanani Vareladapo, may he so rest in peace, Edgar Jagwa. Lungu used to say, Uriatu Tunwanankwe, Dixon Jerry Tunwanankwe is very popular in Lusaka Central. So, I mean, it's going to be between him and the Honorable Minister, Mlambo Mahaimbe. But if I was advising the Honorable Minister, I'd advise him to go to Roma, the new constituency of Lima, because what I'm hearing in Lusaka Central is not good news for him. But anyway, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Lusaka is what, three? Is it 3?
No, they added 6, I think. So he could have picked any of those. Anyway, that's it. I'm Team Dixon Jerry. I'm putting it on record. And then I'm very disappointed. Let me say, I'm just disappointed. When Maureen Khan, you see, I went into journalism because of watching, Maureen Khan on TV. She was my inspiration to join this field. However, her activity in the last 1 week have disappointed me. So she initially announces she's going to go and stand in Kundalila as an independent. I was right behind her. Now she comes back. A few days later, she joins the Harry Kalaba in the citizenship, whatever. And then she tells us, as supporters, she left us high and dry, saying, no, I'll let you know what I've decided to do on my next move. So you have left us hanging. So what is this with this flip-flopping? You are a woman of substance. I believe in the Zambians. Why are you flip-flopping?
Like she's standing somewhere. I forget what that place is.
Kundalila as an independent.
Yes.
And then you come back and tell us you are not sure. Why citizenship? And then you tell us, no, I have joined citizenship. I'll let you know what my next move is. So I supporters you. Why, if we're my supporters, you left us hanging. So basically what that tells me, you are flip-flopping. You don't know what you want to do. So, here's an example. If Maureen Khan today is offered a job, just, for argument's sake, at the UN, I can guarantee she will quit politics and rush to go and work at the UN, maybe New York or Sweden, because she's flip-flopping. She doesn't know what she wants to do. So how do we as supporters support her in such ventures? You tell me. You tell me. As a supporter, I'm disappointed with her flip-flopping.
Use your due diligence. Matters of that require you to just be yourself. Use your due diligence. That's all. So that you don't blame anyone tomorrow.
Anyway, let's close. It's been a long evening or long afternoon.
My closing remarks are very straightforward. Please, let's ensure that democracy is protected in our country. The big man syndrome, we must stop it. And also interference in the electoral process must be actually dealt with. I hope that to see you guys next week, and let's have a conversation once more. Okay.
Hamwami?
I hope I've not offended Mr. Chanda Kazia by bringing that topic that was on social media. Mwikantwala kukoti na papata. Don't cite me as one of the defendants. Na papata, please.
You are playing a citizen's concern because
Okay.
yes, although people know that things like that won't put up and get traffic, at least you were candid enough to ask and then you see how the impact is on that.
Okay.
But I can tell you, Amata, I thank you for actually asking me the question because it's a necessary thing. When you see your friend, people throw things like that, you obviously get concerned. So I'm not taking it out very negatively. I appreciate your concern, but only to say that how we can determine the cost because someone will pay for that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Bakalinda's already said. So with me, the future of Zambia and Africa depends on accountability, unity, and informed citizens. Now, I think we need to break down everything what we've just been discussing, and that's the sovereignty of our states and Zambia as a whole, and not be bullied by any country in the world. Zambia, we have what it takes. We have critical minerals, we have everything. We are not on the begging side. And people, they must go through this, they're saying, thinking that we're begging. We're not begging. We don't need anything. We have everything. Okay? It's the opposite. So if the quicker, the sooner all these ambassadors are brought to Zambia, and I can guarantee you the next one will be a black person. And that, mark my word, the next person that's going to come as an ambassador for the United States will be a black person. You know, because they would want to somebody that's going to relate and understand. Anybody different, not saying anything or anything, but they come here and they think like, oh, I have the power and have something to say, and they have to follow what I'm saying. Like, look, no. An ambassador, that's not your job. Okay? The job of an ambassador is not to talk about internal politics or internal issues, or that's not what it is. And you have to also act as a diplomat. If you're a diplomat, you have to act in a certain way, a certain mode. You cannot just come up and just issue issues abruptly, you know, just for the sake of the media. No, because next time you're being employed into a different sector or environment or area or a country, they'll say, no, that person doesn't know how to act as an ambassador or doesn't know how to act as a diplomat. You don't want that person. So it's how you present yourself, you know, out there. And, you know, that's why people have won awards in all these issues. Some people have got Nobel Prizes, they've got all these things because how they present themselves in the outside world. But let's just say the outgoing whatever ambassador, I don't know. I mean, he had a very different vision. And I can even understand because the government that he's representing is a government that's here to grab and take. They are not interested in our own well-being. No way. They just want to grab and take. And us, with the president, instead come. Have you ever heard the president talk about this? He's quiet because he knows that, look, for me, my job is to do this, provide this for my people. That's it. Anything else?
I want to talk about those women those young girls, I don't know if they were paid by, I'm not going to say a political party, to come after Mutinta. They better stay off our First Lady. He has
What?
nothing to do with Esther Lungu. There was a group of ladies who came on air last Tuesday crying that the First Lady is not helping in the impasse. In the Lungu family drama, you know. So they were like, they were disappointed with the First Lady not involving herself in the. Yes, so that's what I.
Don't touch her. Just leave her. Okay? Leave Bamutinta. Bamutinta is our First Lady. She's our mother. And certain things we just don't blame other people.
Why are you going to involve her? Anyway, that's my final word. Until next time, we out.
Okay, bye-bye. Good night.
Good afternoon.